Hamrick from Rice University will kick the ball off for the Kansas City Chiefs. A barefoot kicker, and he hits it well downfield. James Swanson takes it back. Open lane, and Swanson's got an open track. Trying to cut back. He is finally knocked down at the 50-yard line. They'll spot him at the 49. So another sensational play by this quick little Nebraskan. Shane Swanson, a former Cornhusker. He was finally tackled by Eric Hodges before he went the distance. It was a 50-yard return.
This is a great job by the Denver Bronco return team. Look at the, that's not a hole, that's a chasm in that coverage team by Kansas City, and Shane Swanson having an excellent ball game today.
Archer at quarterback. Dudek and Poole are the runners. Dudek is swept under. Free football, and the Chiefs have it at the 46-yard line of the Broncos. James Harrell from the University of Florida played 8 years in the NFL. The man who was originally a Bronco back in '79 and more recently a Detroit Lion comes up with the ball, and that's going back to Florida with him.
Now for Dudek, that's the 4th time he's fumbled and 3 times he's lost it. He gets hammered in there. The Chiefs came with a blitz on the first play. That ball pops loose, and Harrell's there to pick it up. We have a Denver Bronco on the AstroTurf here at Arrowhead.
So while the injured Bronco is attended to, we'll take this break. In the 3rd quarter, Matt Stevens, young quarterback from UCLA, firing the ball on first down. Tip ball, but the catch is made by Robert Parker, who scored one of the Chiefs' 2 first-half touchdowns, and he advances the ball to the 41-yard line, a gain of 6. Earl Johnson, the strong safety for Denver, tackled him.
This ball is tipped right at the line of scrimmage, but Parker does a great job to get his hands on it, and then that defense closes. Earl Johnson on the tackle. Nice 5-yard pickup, though.
Pitch back to the fullback, Chris Smith. Driving ahead on a 2nd and 4 play. He's close to the 36-yard line. Tim Lucas, an outside linebacker, made the stop for Denver, number 58.
Denver's in the situation they did not want it to be in. They did not want to be in here. Kansas City 0-2 as replacement players and not playing particularly well on top of that. And Denver, with the 3 turnovers, has allowed Kansas City to stay in this ball game this long. As few good things have happened for Kansas City. The longer they stay in this ball game, their confidence is going to continue rising as they just picked up a first down. By the way, the injured player there was Billy Bryant, the starting center. Dan Reeves looking, and Steve Antonopoulos, the trainer for the Denver Broncos, checking him out. That would be a very, very bad injury.
He's out for any length of time. It would mean the 2 top Bronco regulars. First Watson against the Raiders, and now Bryan went out in the replacement season. Hard stick put on Chris Smith. A 245-pound fullback sent flying the other way on that shoulder-high hit by Bryant Wynn.
Looks like Billy Bryant, too, is coming off on a stretcher. We'll watch Chris Smith there. Wynn is a guy that the Denver Broncos like a bunch. And this is a team, the Denver Broncos, that they like linebackers. Billy Bryant taking off on the, looks like a 4-wheel drive vehicle. They're taking him into the Denver locker room. We'll get a report as quickly as we can.
Injury appeared to be to Billy Bryant's right knee. Throw and a catch. A free ball. Wasn't ruled a catch. It could be a fumble if it is. They're letting it go. It apparently is a live play, and the Denver Broncos have the ball back. Parker had it long enough to be given possession, then he lost it starting a run. It's a catch and a fumble.
Tony Lilly made the hit, but remember, we have the instant replay already once in this ball game. The replay has overruled the field officials. Here's the rule. The 2nd foot must be down. 1, 2. Well, that's hard to tell from the back of the athlete. That's one replay. Now watch that 2nd foot. It's the reception when he has clear control of the ball and that 2nd foot down. Never has control of it.
Control the ball.
I think that goes back to Kansas City, and I believe that was the indicator right there.
That replay was the best one right there.
Nick Skorich is in that, what do we call that, the isolation booth?
I think so. Looks like a one-way glass.
Watch again.
It tells the story here. It did
clear control of the football and the 2nd foot down. 1,
it.
2 never has control of the football. The Chiefs should get it back.
That's the spoken word of Bob Trumpy.
There was no whistle. We know that because they let the play go. So the umpire will be talking to Nick Skorich up in the booth.
This game could turn on this. Kansas City's playoff chances could turn on this.
This has to be overruled by the replay official because there was no whistle on the field. He never has control of this football when Lilly hits him.
The season has 10 weeks to go, but if the Chiefs get off to a 1-4 start with a loss today, they might be history.
There's Tony Lilly.
From a playoff standpoint.
He helps. Comes across and plays. I understand we have another angle of this. See if we can pick it up. He's got to have clear control, and the second foot down does not have control of the football.
Some good looks. Our producer today for NBC Sports is Jim Maroney. Our director, Bob Levy. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman, as we have 12 minutes and 53 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Denver holding to a 19-14 lead over Kansas City as the ball game right now is in the hands of a very, very competent official, Nick Skorich. Dan Reeves says, hey, that's obviously a fumble, but that's not what they perhaps are seeing in the booth as Frank Gans looks on, hoping for good news from up high.
Dan Reeves does have a vested interest, though, in the decision. You can't blame him for lobbying his way. I'm not sure what the holdup is, though. It looks like the umpire is now talking to Nick Skorich upstairs.
He spent a long time with Dan Reeves yesterday. He said the one great thing about coaching is working with overachievers, guys who deliver more than they have. That's what our replacement players and a lot of teams have.
After further review, the pass was ruled incomplete. Third down, Kansas City.
Injury report. Billy Bryan, the standout center for the Broncos, is out with a sprained right knee. He won't return today. Darrell Russell of Denver is also out with a sprained right ankle. He'll not play again today. And 2 Chiefs have gone out with injuries. Kevin Atkins with a dislocated shoulder, and defensive back Garcia Lane with a sprained shoulder. So an overrule. No fumble. The Chiefs keep the ball. Third down and 9 coming up. Hand off to Smith. Runs into open field, and Smith crashes down to the 25-yard line. He has a first down for Kansas City.
I have a feeling that Frank Gans pulled out his win one for the Gipper speech at halftime. Kansas City's come out here with good steam. Nice little delay. Good blocking by Parker, 43. Chris Smith, an 11-yard pickup. And Denver's got its handfuls now.
As we check the ticker, that overtime game in New Jersey, the Jets beating the Miami Dolphins. And now the pitch back goes to Robert Parker. Following lead blocks, and Parker's all the way down to the 15-yard line. Run out of bounds by inside linebacker Bryant Wynn. Linebackers for the Broncos are Tim Joyner, Bryant Wynn, Jim Ryan, and Tim Lucas. They've been in on a lot of plays. See some earlier scores. Cleveland routing Cincinnati. Green Bay went to overtime today and beat the Eagles. Raiders now up 14-7 over San Diego. That game in the third quarter. Giants in Buffalo, 2 rather inept teams on offense this replacement season, scoreless in the third quarter. Hand off to Smith, trying the interior of the Bronco defense, and big Chris Smith at 245 pounds is knocked down after a gain of maybe a yard.
Looked like he picked up enough for the first down.
So all he needed was 1. It was a 2nd and 1 play.
Don, it appears between each play, these Kansas City Chiefs players are really celebrating, trying to really fire up the rest of the football team to give it your absolute best. As replacement players, we don't want to go out of here 0-3. Let's get a win, and get a win against last year's AFC defending champion replacement football team. No, it is short. I thought he had enough. Here come the big guys again. Lacey, Walton, the tight end. This will be Hammer City. Generally, you find out right now.
Your defenses, they're about as tough to get that last foot on as anybody around.
You're right, but right now you'll find out who Frank Gans thinks his best offensive lineman is. That's where this run will go. Right behind him.
Well, they pitched to Parker and got yards in the past. He's the I-back behind Chris Smith. Parker. Behind Smith, he's over the 15 like an end zone fly, but he goes over into the first down area. Gets 4 new downs for the Chiefs and keeps their drive alive. This drive, of course, also kept alive by a videotape overrule. It was ruled a catch and a fumble earlier. The videotape replay show the receiver not to be in possession, and so the Chiefs kept the ball, and now they drive on, trailing in the game 19-14 with 11-12 to play in the third quarter. Parker, the I-back, they like to go to that 29 pitch. This time they're going to put it up. Stevens gets time, dumps it over. The ball is caught, taken in by a big rangy receiver, Richard Estelle from Kansas, and he gets a short gain as the Bronco zone coverage closes quickly. Tim Joyner, number 95, a linebacker from LSU, who's playing solid football. When he was at LSU, people projected him to be one of the standout players in the country. He was until he hurt his knee and lost a step. Still a sound player, but he might have been an all-pro player.
Nice play selection there. Nice little crossing route by the tight end that generally is open in most defenses.
Stevens on the draw. Robert Parker takes on tacklers, and a good head-on hit put on by Denver's defense. Makes the knockdown stop. Bryant Wynn filled the gap and put the shot on. The stop is made at the 7-yard line as the game clock ticks on down to 10 minutes to play. We're in the third quarter with Denver leading 19-14, but Kansas City challenging.
Now Denver comes in with an entirely different defense. It looks like a little more beef up front. Some bigger guys. Expecting Kansas City to run the sweep. It'd be Parker far side if it is, Don.
3rd down and 4 for the first down. 3rd down and 7 for the touchdown. Stevens looks and throws it away. So that brings up 4th down, and the kicking team comes out.
That was well defense by Denver. The play was intended for Robert Parker, the running back out in the flat. Roger Jackson was right there on Parker. Stevens had no place to throw it whatsoever, so he did the smart thing, not try to force it in there, just threw it over his head. They'll take the field goal.
So now the 3-point attempt put in the hands of James Hamrick, a young man who graduated from Rice University with 3 degrees. Can also kick it, and Hamrick hits it up and through. 25-yard field goal narrows the gap. It's a 19-17 lead, and at the moment that 2-point safety, the first points of the game, turns out to be the difference. Points. Frank Gans, the Kansas City coach, Trump used every motivational speech he had. He talked about Nicklaus winning the Masters at age 46. He talked about Jimmy Doolittle bombing Tokyo, and he didn't have enough fuel to get back.
Well, this is his last game with these guys. You might as well let it all hang out. You know, give him every great story he's got, because he doesn't have to do it next week.
It hasn't hurt as the Chiefs, a big underdog, hanging right in with the tough Denver Broncos. And now the kickoff downfield goes to LaRon Brown. Brown brings it back to the 27-yard line. Knocked down by Gary Spann. To be confused with the longtime Chief linebacker of recent years, Gary Spaney.
Attendance is just over 20,000 today. As we mentioned earlier, this game was sold out in September. Would have been televised locally, but not so today.
The greatest matchups in the NFL come out of this division. Chiefs against the Broncos, the Raiders against anybody, Seattle.
That's true. Denver, Seattle. You're right.
You don't get too many bad ones. Out pattern, and down with the ball is that elusive receiver, Shane Swanson, who's been in the end zone once today, has done a superb job returning kicks. Kevin Ross, a regular cornerback who crossed the line before the 1 o'clock deadline this week, was covering on the play. Number 31, the right side cornerback, a free agent from Temple, who's regarded by NFL scouting services as one of the best one-on-one covers in the NFL.
Yeah, he was flying at Swanson, too. Swanson couldn't wait to get that ball and get down on the ground.
Denver holding to a 2-point lead. 19-17. Third quarter clock running. 8:48 to play, and as Karcher throws an out pattern, and the omnipresent Micho is again wide open to catch the ball, and a marker goes down.
Wait a minute. That's going to be against Denver. That's a pick on Swanson.
One of the least called penalties and most abused things in football.
I think it's Rick Massey they're going to call the penalty on.
Number 83.
Yep, Massey.
Offense, second down.
He ran the slant inside, and what he was trying to do is pick off a defensive back, and at the point where you're about to make contact, you got to turn actor. And he got caught, and that's inexperience. Henry said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And you have no idea, Don, how many plays in the playbook involve illegal picks. You just got to learn how to do it.
You use it in every sport. The set pick in basketball is almost as good as the illegal moving pick. A lot of tight ends get free working off the moving pick. Second down and 14. Karcher stands in, looks to the outlet man. It's Dudek, and he pays at the 26-yard line, a gain of just a couple of yards. That'll bring up third down and long now for Denver.
Bob Harris makes the tackle, and now Kansas City they're catching on. They're figuring out what's happening here, and they're out there to make the tackles. You got to admire Frank Gans and his coaching staff with what little this team has shown. They've got this team fired up to play in their graduation exercise.
Coach Gans motivating his team on the sideline. The players love him. From the shotgun, Karcher on 3rd and 11 going for the distance. Brown running a fly pattern, and it's tipped away at the 36-yard line. Allowed out, very nearly a big hit, but Trent Bryant, that cornerback out of Arkansas, has played very sound football for KC, makes the breakup.
That was more like a punt than a pass. Everyone was standing back there waiting for it. You can see the receiver has to really slow up. LaRon Brown. Trent Bryant is right there, too. Almost could fair catch that.
He's on the field, but Jitter Fields.
Uh-oh.
End zone field. Ralph Giacomo out of Penn State will punt the ball for Denver, and he hits it extremely well. Booms one downfield, and here comes Fields, who ran one back 85 yards for a touch. He's going heading for that end zone again. Goodbye. Can they get him? They do at the 35-yard line. A saving tackle was made by Tim Lucas.
Whoa.
Tim Lucas saved a touchdown. It was a 39-yard return. That was like Tim Brown in Notre Dame.
This Jitter Fields got here late. I have a feeling he's going to stay a while. Punt returners must be absolutely fearless. And this kid is firing up in there. Who is that guy? Denver's saying, are you sure that guy's name is Jitter Fields? That's not Mike Nelms or somebody? They pull a ringer in on us? Come on, who is that guy really?
Jitter Fields from the University of Texas showed up on Friday, and he has made the big plays. And here comes Parker running hard into the Denver defense. A tackle made by Earl Johnson, the strong safety.
Boy, you look at that Kansas City Chiefs bench. They are really fired up now.
All those motivational speeches.
You can see them all standing there, but they can't believe they're watching it just as much as we can't believe we're watching it. And a bad record. Now they're cheering, go Chiefs, go.
How do you cut a guy like this? I'll tell you how you don't.
I don't know if he can find Arrowhead on Monday. You make sure you give him a contract.
Second down and short for KC. Rollout pattern. Here's a throw and a catch. It's completed to the tight end. Rod Jones fights his way down to the 10-yard line.
Denver's got it.
Broncos have the ball, and so the Kansas City drive is stopped. The Broncos force a turnover. Rod Jones had it and lost it, and the Broncos go on offense, leading by 2 points, 19-17.
Tony Lilly with the recovery. The ball was just stripped away. When the tight end started going inside there, Rod Jones, now you got to really hang on to that football. You see it just pops away, and Lilly makes the recovery.
Ryan looked like he slapped it away.
Looked like Ryan slapped it away. Once again, a huge play for Denver.
Two regulars make the play, Ryan and Lilly.
Wynn, who strips the ball away. A nice catch. And when the tight end gets inside, there's Wynn right there. 55 strips the ball away. Rod Jones was the receiver. Tony Lilly on the recovery. A big turnover against the Chiefs.
Brian Wynn from the University of Houston. And now the Broncos have the ball back in what's turned out to be a dogfight. They lead 19-17. 6:50 to play, third quarter. The pitch back goes to Nathan Poole, and he takes on a tackler. Coming up to fill and make the hit was the free safety, Blaine Smith.
For those
SMU.
Excuse me, Don. For those of you watching, you saw Poole go towards the sideline. That's legal. That's not considered motion, illegal motion. Got Rob Harris down, it looks like. Looks like he got a shot in the stomach, but Nathan Poole did not get the snap count correctly. He in motion towards the sideline. That's legal. As long as you don't advance toward the line of scrimmage, it's not considered illegal motion.
This effort, a dramatic turnabout for the Chiefs, who were destroyed last week, losing 42-0 against the Dolphins down at the new Joe Robbie Stadium. As you pointed out, Trump, they only crossed the field to the Chiefs offense twice in the game and got to the 43-yard line. They were close to points.
Yeah, so they really had nothing this week to build on. If you're the Kansas City Chief coaching staff, you basically have to draw on their emotion, their competitive spirit. And obviously they've done it.
Before the game, I had a chance to talk to Nathan Poole about this competitive situation of replacement football.
Put the regular starters up 2-1 in the division and put us back on top. So we're coming out to play really hard and try to win the game.
You've been an NFL player in the past. In fact, had a couple of very good seasons with the Broncos. How do you equate this present team? How would you rate them to a regular NFL club?
Well, quite naturally, the talent is not up to par as opposed to the regular guys being here, but it's very competitive. And over a period of time, if the guys had enough time to work together, you could come out and have a very competitive situation.
That certainly happened today. Talk about a competitive situation. No one expected Kansas City to be this close. 1917 Denver. Denver's turned the ball over 3 times. Kansas City twice.
Very important player for the Chiefs comes out. Bob Harris with an injured elbow. We'll see if he'll be back. He's been instrumental in their good defensive effort. Game clock running. 6:25 to play, third quarter. A 2-point lead for Denver as Joe Dudek runs hard and crosses the 20. On a 2nd down and 4 play, and here's a marker in after the play, and there's a player down.
It's Dudek, I believe.
Joe Dudek, who's been running hard all day, even after bruising ribs in the first half. 2 players also. The guy that hit him is down.
Bodies all over the place, huh?
I tell you, it's like there's been grenades going off out there after plays. People all over the field. A very, very physical football game. The Broncos are leading at the moment 19-17.
Illegal use of the body, tripping. Number 50, defense, first down.
That's against James Harrell. That's a strange call.
It's called clipping against the defense.
Tripping.
Tripping.
He tripped him to tackle him.
Tough to clip if you're on defense.
Yeah, see, you see Harrell stick his leg out there, his left leg out there, and that's where Dudek got it. He just got his bell rung. Somebody just flew in there at him.
Joe Dudek is still out, still down.
Yeah, he says, why am I doing this? It looks like Blaine Smith is the Kansas City player who is up. Watch Dudek now. Watch the leg come out of this
Dudek's
pile
up
of
and
people.
okay.
And see, there's the trip. And he gets him on the ground, and it looks like Blaine Smith was the guy who fired into Dudek. Well, Dudek, if he plays next week, he'll have pads on everything. Stem to stern, he'll have something covered. Everything covered. I might mention, we also had a picture there of James Harrell. He's out there illegally. He has that jersey on, and his shoulder pads are showing in front, number 50. That's illegal. They normally make you change jersey. They're trying to fix it right now. He can't play with that thing like that. It's too dangerous. You can get cut from just flying bodies and shoulder pad parts.
Right now, it's 1st and 10 for the Broncos. Pitch back to Nathan Poole. Knocked down at the 36-yard line. A gain of about 4 yards on the play. A defensive tackle, John Walker. Number 98 ran him down.
Be interesting to see what they do with James Harrell to continue the story here. I don't imagine they have 2 number 50s available for James Harrell to wear. The equipment man right next where James Harrell is looking in the...
He'd take a quarterback's number right now.
Well, he's got to have a linebacker number.
What's that they say? If you're going to get in a fight in a football game, never get into one with any number higher than 15.
That's true.
Kickers and quarterbacks only. Hand off to Nathan Poole, and he drives hard and then is thrown back. Nathan Poole's forward progress took him out close to the 38-yard line. He'll be short of a first down by about 3.
Well, they got James Harrell a jersey. Let's see what number it is. They're taking it right out of, oh, they're taking somebody's name off the back, it looks like. Is that what they're doing? Let's see what, or are they taking it out of the package?
First thing you do is put a red shirt of any kind on.
Quickly.
Sweater from somebody in the stand. James about out of patience. Third down and just about 3 for the Broncos as Karcher sets in the shotgun.
It's a free play.
Nicely thrown ball and another nice catch by Shane Swanson of the Broncos, and he's ahead for a first down.
Kansas City had 12 guys on the field, Don. There's 50. Now James Harrell is 51. That's replacement football.
Stan David was replacement, or was 51 until he was replaced on Friday. Linebacker from Texas Tech.
Yeah, I think we saw the equipment man tearing that name off the...
Illegal substitution foul. 12 men on the field. Defense. Penalty declined. First down.
Chiefs were trying to put in a like a nickel package defense there, and somebody forgot to come out. I'm surprised in all the games that we've seen, these replacement games, we haven't seen that more. Too many guys on the field or not enough.
19-17 Denver. 4:30 to play, third quarter. Nathan Poole breaks the crust and he drives down to the 46-yard line. On a first down carry, he gets 10. See if they mark the ball enough for a first down. He'll be inches short of it. Jack Epps, the free safety, made the stop.
Good blocking up front by the offensive line of the Denver Broncos, and Nate, not a particularly tall guy, kind of sneaks through there.
Boy, is he powerful.
Oh, he's very powerful. And an excellent blocker, and because Dudek has coughed the ball up and been on the turf all day today, he's getting a chance to carry the ball. Nice kid. Really a nice kid.
Nathan?
Yeah, absolutely. Very nice kid.
From Louisville. Second and very short for the Broncos, who lead by 2 points. Play fake and looking deep is Karcher. He has a man open and the ball is lost at the 19-yard line, but there's a marker down. Mitch Andrews, the tight end, released deep. Karcher with a good play fake. Went long on second and short. And Jack Epps and Garcia Lane, both defending, are accused of interfering.
Jack Epps got right in the way. We got a flag down also at the line of scrimmage too. Looks like everything's coming back. There you see.
Number 72,
looks like
defense.
Ted Nelson was defending. Number 49.
This will be a wash. They'll replay the down holding on the offense. Pass interference by Ted Nelson, not Garcia Lane as we originally thought. So they'll do it again. Second down and inches.
The tight end, who they went to, Mitch Andrews, went to the sideline. He's coming back in quickly with the play, as you see Karcher again with very impressive passing numbers today. Joe Dudek has a back injury that they're checking on. We don't know if he'll be back, but we didn't know if he'd be back early in the game when he went out with a rib injury. He was back. He's had one touchdown call back today. Ran 20 yards in, but it was brought back. Nathan Poole gets the first down and plenty more as he drives the ball down to the 38-yard line. Bruce Holmes threw him back.
Because of Poole's low center of gravity, when people make contact with him, watch those legs keep driving, keep churning, keep chugging. Give me an inch. I'll take a foot. Well, I'm getting a yard. And that's the way running backs impress coaches and you stay in the league for a while. And Nate certainly had his chances, but looks like he may get another one.
One top player for the Bronco replacement team who's been covered well is Rick Massey, a wide receiver set to the lower portion of your screen. Nathan Poole on first down. They try to catch the all-out rush at Kansas City and send Poole right by him on a delayed draw, sprint draw, but it's a knockdown at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It'll be second down and 10.
Actually, they tried to run a draw trap with Michaud being the trapper. And the nose tackle The center blocks back, and the nose tackle comes right straight across the line. And Michaud's supposed to block him, but it didn't work. So nobody should win today.
97 yards rushing. Second and 11. Archer in trouble. Throws on the run. It's a tip ball, incomplete, and Archer did a super job getting rid of it before he was sacked.
Yeah, actually, Don, I think because that ball was tipped by a defensive player, Jerry Markbright wouldn't throw the flag for intentional grounding. It looked like Bruce Holmes had his hand up in the air and made contact with it, or they might have called intentional grounding there. And that is throwing the ball away to avoid a sack or a loss of yardage.
Dan Reeves, while everyone else was predicting an easy victory for the Broncos, said we know it's going to be tough, and he's right. 19-17, Denver with the lead. 2:52 to play, third quarter, as Karcher from the shotgun faces a four-man rush, delivers a throw and a catch coming across to Shane Swanson once again. A 14-yard gain and a first down for Denver.
Now, it's hard to judge individual performance in games like this because you really don't know the guy that the good performers lined up against. But Swanson runs a great catch. I mean, a great pattern. He hesitates right at the defensive back, cuts away from him. Carlton Thomas was the man in coverage. 14-yard pickup.
First down for the Broncos. Ball at the 25-yard line. Pitch back to Poole. Nothing there. Coming up to make the strike. Gary Spann, number 94, and he's down.
There have been quite a few guys on the field today. Hopefully not hurt seriously enough that it's going to take them a week or so to get over it.
Exciting football action continues next Sunday in Week 7 of the National Football League season on NBC. A doubleheader day, including a matchup of the Jets and the Redskins at Washington. And then in the doubleheader game, the Seahawks take on the Raiders. Next Sunday on NBC Sports. Right now, the Denver Broncos, leading by 2 points, have a 2nd and 12 play. Throw and a perfect strike. Rick Massey, who we were mentioning a moment ago, has been covered most of the day, finally breaks free on an underneath pattern. Karcher leads him perfectly for an 18-yard gain, and now the Broncos are challenging.
You see the call once again by Dan Reeves out to Karcher. You have no idea how great a catch that was. In my experience in the NFL, the most difficult pass to catch is one that you don't see released by the quarterback. Massey just turned his head around at the last second. Karcher put it right on his hip. Catch for 18 yards and a first down.
Two wide out set to the right, including Shane Swanson. Massey's out there with him.
Calling an audible, Don.
Changing the play on first and goal. Hand off to Poole, and Nathan Poole breaks one tackle, then's knocked down at the 7. Marker down. Holding call against the Broncos is the preliminary signal.
Randy Frazier makes the tackle. Generally, teams with these replacement players, here's the call by Jerry Markbright.
Number 70, offense, first down.
Dave Studdard, the offensive left tackle, not even involved in the play, was called for holding. But as I was going to say, generally speaking, when a quarterback calls an audible in this situation, it's just you're trying to get out of a bad play. There's Studdard pulling right in the middle of the play. He was a big part of the play. But normally it's just an audible to get out of a bad play into one other play. You don't have an entire list of plays that you can go to that a normal team would.
Ken Karcher, an under-control quarterback from Tulane, who's been most effective today. Now takes a drop and takes a look at the end zone. A man is there, but it's intercepted by Kansas City and Kevin Ross. A standout with the regular Chiefs stops the touchdown drive of Denver. And so the Chiefs, down by 2, take over the ball at their 20.
Karcher knew as soon as he threw it, he'd made a mistake. You don't want to throw that ball late down the middle. Watch what happens. See, he's almost locked on to a receiver, And what that does is allow the defensive backs to read his eyes. Massey was the intended receiver. Ross just standing back there playing center field, makes the easy interception.
Broncos started that drive taking a Kansas City turnover. Now they'll try to get the ball back from the Chiefs. 1:38 to go, third quarter. 19-17 Denver. Parker breaks tackles again, and he's out across the 25-yard line. A 200-pound slashing runner from BYU.
That last drive by Denver from their own 11 to the Kansas City 8. It took 5.5 minutes, and that turnover spoiled a chance for points, insurance points. Up 19-17.
Matt Stevens at quarterback for Kansas City out of UCLA. He's made a lot of big throws. Second down and 4. Hands off to Smith, and he's tripped up. Good defense by Jeff Tupper, the nose tackle for the Broncos, number 91 from Oklahoma.
Tackled by Jeff Tupper.
Game clock winds down to 42 seconds to play in the third quarter. Chiefs with the ball, 19-17. Kevin Ross had some words for us before the game.
I didn't really come in to play for a placement team. I came in to play for myself. It was time for me to come in. I felt like I was losing timing, losing my mental edge on the game and the position that I played. I can't afford that kind of thing.
What's it been like playing here?
It's different. Atmosphere is different. I miss the other guys a lot. Basically, it's advanced high school, if you want to call it that, at best. And it's a burden on the coaches. I see what they're going through. You know, these guys been here I guess they stay at 7 to 7. I don't know, you know, if I would do this again with the given situation, because it's been frustrating.
Kevin Ross, open field tackler extraordinaire, and also, as you saw, top interceptor as he came up with the play that stopped that Bronco drive. And now with just 14 seconds to play in the third quarter, the Broncos on defense, and Kansas City's Matt Stevens looks to find a way. A big down coming up. 3rd and 4. If the Chiefs don't convert, the Broncos should get good field position on the punt. Coach Gans, another of those he called on as one of his motivational speeches was Micah Ruzioni. He talked about the 1980 Olympic hockey team beating the Soviets, then the Finns, and winning the gold medal against all odds.
Pulled them all out, did he?
Everyone. Stevens on 3rd down makes a first down throw out to the 35-yard line. Richard Estelle, a wide receiver, slipped off the flank and up the middle into the zone, and Stevens led him perfectly. That'll do it at the end of the third quarter. The score is the Denver Broncos 19, the Kansas City Chiefs 17. It's turned back, but it's a good game, and turnovers have been a very important factor as the Denver Broncos have turned it over 4 times in the game. Kansas City just twice. Now Chris Smith runs on first down and somehow taken on tacklers, fumbles the ball. No sooner said than done. Another turnover, and it looks like Denver has it. They do. So Smith, who fought for 2 yards, broke 2 tackles and got 10, finally loses it to Steve Bryan of the Broncos, a defensive end.
You have to appreciate his effort, but you finish off the carry by hanging onto the football. Watch the broken tackles. 1 from Jim Ryan. 2, Tony Lilly. 27, Clark finally jars the ball away, and Bryan recovers it. Denver again on offense.
As best they can after that turnover. KC's 3rd of the game. Denver has the ball with a 2-point lead. Early in the fourth quarter, Karcher throws it away, saw coverage. It was in the direction of a receiver who is not open, so it's not grounding. Rick Massey was running a sideline pattern. Actually, we're told now that was KC's 2nd turnover. 1 had been overruled. That was the Parker turnover.
Yeah, that's true. 6 turnovers in the ball game. Joe Dudek is back in the ball game too. Nathan Poole out for a rest. Dudek has coughed it up.
Joe Dudek is a gamer, though. He's gone out twice with different injuries, and he's back to play again. 2nd and 10. Micho looking downfield. Ball is thrown over Micho and too wide of Rick Massey running the out pattern. So now a very big 3rd down arises for the Broncos.
That ball was thrown just a little bit too quickly by Karcher. Looked like Massey ran the right depth of the pattern, 10, 11 yards. Karcher just let it fly a little too quickly.
Giants and the Bills into the 4th quarter. 2 of the less forceful replacement teams, reminiscent of John McKay's assessment of his original Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Said on offense we couldn't score against a strong wind.
Yeah, well, you're being very kind to both of those teams, Buffalo and the Giants.
They don't have the personnel. Not in the strike season. Archer throws, and it's overthrown on 3rd down, so the Chiefs will get it back on a Denver punt. 14:39 to play. LaRon Brown was the intended receiver.
Of course, some of these kids may be playing on AstroTurf for the first time in their careers. We got Jitter back there now. Watch out. Jitter Fields. Man is becoming a folk hero in 4 quarters of football here on one Sunday afternoon in Kansas City.
Ralph Giacomo awaits the snap. Denver has a very standout punt snapper. He rockets the ball back, and Giacomo drills it deep. They'll let it hop, and it goes in. And so the Chiefs will go on offense at their 20. 14:30 to play after that 47-yard punt by Giacomo. 19-17 Broncos. Bronco boosters are here. Not in great number, but they're here. Didn't give them the best seats in the house either. Here's Parker running hard, and those Broncos going for the ball again. Robert Parker running hard into Tim Joyner, big outside linebacker from LSU.
Tough choice here now for Frank Gantz. What do you do with your offense? Do you try to take a chance and win this game by throwing it down the field? Or do you just keep chipping away little by little? Plenty of time left, 14 minutes. But what do you do? I mean, Matt Stevens' numbers are good, but they've been all short completions that he's thrown.
Not bad, though. 9 of 11. Here he goes to Smith. You'll remember his last carry resulted in the fumble. That was on a 2nd down and 6 play. And so now 3rd and short comes up for Kansas City. The ball out to their 27-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and a long 2.
Well, I noticed there are a lot of guys that after a play with the video screen here in Arrowhead Stadium, when they get up, as they're walking back to the huddle, they kind of stand there, watch themselves on TV.
Why not?
There's that video screen.
A lot of equipment, game jerseys and stuff will be leaving with these guys.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Stevens swings it out a little high, and a good defensive play by the left corner, K.C. Clark. Man who had an interception return 50 yards against the Raiders.
Robert Parker, the intended receiver there. That's a tough pass to catch when it's not right at you, so Denver stops the drive.
Broncos get it back. It could be in good field position. The return man, Shane Swanson, is standing back at his 30. Kelly Goodburn from Emporia State can hit it a long way, and does, but it's low. It'll come back at Kansas City. Swanson leaving his way, and here's a marker down. Could be a blocking foul against the return team on a 38-yard punt and a 19-yard return.
The tackle was made by Rod Jones, but that's usually an illegal block in the back. It always seems to happen. Well, they're ganging up on one guy out there, making sure that he's not in the coverage at all. It's Trent Bryant.
Going against Kansas City, the penalty.
Unnecessary roughness, number 25, Kansas City.
15 yards being marked off.
15-yard penalty, first down.
Boy, was that expensive.
That was against Jack Epps. Now some of these players trying to show off to the head coach that they can play in the NFL, sometimes a little over exuberant.
Some impressive numbers today. 22 of 34, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the 2 interceptions. Now with his team leading by 2 points, 19-17 and 13:05 to play They go 1st and 10, a very expensive penalty against Jack Epps of Kansas City that added 15 yards on the return. Nathan Poole on the swing pattern, takes the ball and gets it down to the 20-yard line. Nathan Poole appears to have a first down.
Bob Harris on the tackle, a very high percentage completion play to call. Very, very high percentage. The halfback out in the flat. Archer was able to get it over the defensive line. A 9.5-yard pickup.
Foot short of the first down. Second and less than a yard now for the Broncos. 12:59 to play in the game. Nathan Poole gets the first down and some more as he's down to the 17-yard line. Bob Harris back in, made the stop.
He's got a pad on his right elbow, does Bob Harris. That's the one he apparently hurt. A little slow getting up, and he's holding that. 92 red is holding that elbow. He's the guy who made the tackle there. He's got it wrapped. Hey, you got 6 months or the rest of your life to heal, most of these guys, so you take a chance in this final quarter.
Pitch back to Poole. Breaks the tackle, and he's stuck from behind. Knocked down at about the 15-yard line. On a first down carry, he got a couple. Denver came into this game ranked #1 in the entire NFL in total offense through the whole season. Very important game today at Los Angeles, where the Raiders and the Chargers.
Oh, Giants on top, 3-0.
Fourth quarter. San Francisco with Joe Montana throwing for a couple of touchdowns and running for another is now taking the lead over St. Louis. On 2nd and 6, Karcher takes a look at the changing defense of Kansas City. Here comes the blitz. The throw caught by Poole and lost. Penalty markers down.
Karcher had Michaud wide open over the middle. See what the call is. It's against Kansas City.
Illegal contact foul, number 45, defense, automatic first down.
Brent Bryant, who's played a terrific game today for Kansas City, is called for the foul, a very expensive one, and now the Broncos down close to a touchdown. It'll be awful tough to catch Denver if the Broncos take it in. They're up 19-17 at the moment.
Yeah, that makes it 1st and goal for Denver, too. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Karcher come right back to Michaud. He was wide open on that last play. This is the same formation, too.
First and goal. Poole. Knocked down at the 5-yard line. He got 2.
Blaine Smith, a good job of filling that gap. Got right through the line of scrimmage, but Smith coming from that free safety spot right there at the line of scrimmage to stop Poole for about, what, maybe a 2-yard gain. Poole now 14 carries, 49 yards. There you are. That's a good job of filling the spot.
Ball spotted right at the 5-yard line. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Arrowhead Stadium. 10:45 to play. Denver leading by 2 and challenging for a touchdown. Karcher takes a look. Man's open. Michaud holds on and scores.
Great catch.
Bobby Michaud.
That was a great catch. 5 yards. The ball is thrown short to the receiver. And those that kind of die at you are the toughest ones to catch. Watch the job he does. Now, this is not a little guy, but see that thing at the nose of that football pointing to the ground?
Look at those numbers.
Heck of a day. That was a beautiful, beautiful catch. Coming right at you. You see that thing dying, and he's, oh, no, get the point of that ball up. Hangs on and gets in the end zone.
The personal foul call that added 15 yards onto the punt return. Very expensive. It set the Broncos up, and they took it in. Return. They don't want the ball to go to them. Free ball on the ground, and Denver could come up with it.
I think Kansas City got it.
Yeah,
Ken Lacey was the guy who tried to catch it, didn't. Yeah, Mark Bright signaling emphatically Kansas City ball. Already, Denver showing some respect to Jitter Fields. Don't kick it to him. And you can see the scramble, the ball on the ground. Whoever put the points on this football made this game unique.
Matt Stevens, the KC quarterback, 9 completions and 12 throws for 75 yards. He's going to start throwing deep now. They need 2 scores, down by 9 points. Somehow the man came down with the ball. David Montagna with his first reception of the day. Wide receiver from Oregon State, number 87, David Montagna.
KC Clark in the coverage, and Clark has got great coverage here, hanging all over Montagna. But Montagna is about 6'4", Clark is about 5'11", and therefore the difference. Kansas City's got to do a fair amount of hustling here now. There's 10-18 to go in this ball game.
Number 27, defense. Penalty decline. Completed pass.
Penalties declined against the defense, and so the first down goes as the ball is advanced now out to the 29-yard line of KC.
They got to get a score in a hurry here. They need 2 scores to win, obviously. You can throw the ball down the field a little more, but that was good coverage by Denver.
Broken play. Somehow Stevens gets away for the moment. Then there's a holding call downfield. This is going to come back. Richard Estelle makes the catch, but in the backfield, a holding call is signaled against the Chiefs.
Looks like it's going to be against Arlen Thomason, number 58. He tackled Steve Bryan. Watch the guard there pulling. Left guard.
Number 58.
Yep, just tackle Steve Bryan.
First down.
You know, sometimes you can be a little more subtle about it than that. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I think so, but the play had probably never gotten off if he hadn't tackled him. Stevens was in deep trouble. Coach Gans might have to go to that final motivational talk down the stretch.
What's left? Once upon a time, there were 3 little bears. Well, I don't know what's left. He's had the Gipper, he's had the Plebes, he's had everything.
First down and 20. Stevens stands in, gets some time, and dips it over the middle. Robert Parker runs with the ball and runs well. And another flag comes in from the back judge. Fired in from way off the play.
That generally means pass interference on somebody.
To those viewers who have just joined us to watch Our House, please stay tuned. Our House will be seen in its entirety immediately following football, except for Mountain and Pacific time zone stations where the program will be seen at its regular time.
That was against Kansas City. Anybody pick up the number? The call was against Kansas City, pass interference on the offense. Well, Kansas City's got nothing but backwards on this one. All penalties.
The game clock starts up again, and 9:50 to play. Chiefs trailing the Broncos 26-17. And 1st and 30 comes up. I don't know if Stevens can get it that far. The deep drop. Buys time with the run and then throws a strike. Gets it out to his tight end, Rod Jones, who's out to the 25-yard line. So they ate up some of the loss. Still going to be second in very long yardage.
Denver, though, in that
2nd and 15.
In that prevent defense, that was a 15-yard pickup. You want to make sure that whatever happens offensively happens in front of you if you're a defensive back. Oh, now it's 3-3, Buffalo Giants.
A real cliff dweller, as Wes Westrom, the former Met manager, once said. That was a cliff dweller to end all cliff dwellers. 2nd down and 15. Kansas City. Stevens pump faking, dumps it off. Parker has the ball, looks for room to run, and the Broncos shut it down. Bronco defenders in position, and they close it off. Jim Ryan led the tacklers, number 50, and you see the game clock winding down. And right now, time is very dear to the Kansas City Chiefs as they need 2 scores. They need a touchdown and a field goal.
So many times over the years, the Denver defense has really saved the Bronco offense until they got John Elway and the current cast of characters. Joe Collier's defense really playing very, very well here at the point in the ball game where they have to play well, and that is shut off this last drive. slow down the momentum of the Kansas City Chiefs.
3rd and 17. Here comes the rush. A stunt 4-man rush. Stevens throws on the run, gets the ball upfield. Estelle takes it. But the rule, he got it on the 1 hop.
Yeah, that bounced. That whistle blew immediately. That was a nice little play for a shortstop, but it's not legal if you're a receiver in the NFL.
So the clock stops with 7:59 to play in the game.
Tell you what, you know his team's losing. Frank Ant's still with the pats on the back to all these kids.
Oh, he's not going to give up on them. They're doing the best they can with what they got, and right now, Denver's superior manpower, and the Broncos very well prepared. Have taken the lead, and they're going for the ball. They almost got it. Tremendous punt by Goodburn, who could stick with the regular roster. James Swanson on the run up the middle of the field, and Swanson's into open field, and finally they get him down at the 37-yard line. 33-yard return by Shane Swanson.
The punter made the tackle. That's a 48-yard kick. He basically outkicked his coverage. Swanson able to turn it up here. But you watch Goodburn, the punter, come into the picture just at the last moment. Swanson just can't quite outrun him.
He makes my football team.
38 yards. Well, punters and place kickers are almost interchangeable. You may be absolutely correct.
Receiver and kick returner for the Broncos has almost 200 yards total today. He's returned 5 punts for 97 yards. He's caught 6 balls for 87 yards, and of course a touchdown catch.
Yeah, Dan Reeves told us yesterday afternoon, we were talking to him, he said the worst part of my job is cutting people. He says, this is like 3 training camps. I got to cut people tomorrow. I got to cut people on Monday. He said, I can't stand it. I absolutely hate that part of my job.
He's still fighting as Nathan Poole is slowed up and then hit twice. James Harrell got him on a first down play.
In case folks around the country have not heard, the NFL is expanding the rosters to 85. There could be a lot of instances in a lot of cities where you have replacement players practicing for a week against the regular players. Maybe that'll be worth taping, you suppose?
Yeah,
maybe there'll be a point spread on that on the practices.
There was a report that a lot of replacement teams wanted to play the regulars in the winter stays.
Well, first week back, that's a good idea. 3 weeks into it, that's a bad idea.
Frank Gann said in '82 it took a full 4 weeks back before the teams were where they were before a strike. Michaud with another catch. Bobby Michaud again swings out. All day long coming underneath, and all day long Karcher going to him.
As I remember in '82, there was a lot of movement like the year after the strike was called in 1982.
Over 300 new players were in the league.
Well, that's typical. As I told you a couple of weeks ago, 85% of the players in this league change every 3 years. That's why I'm of the opinion that the next time the collective bargaining agreement is up, there'll be another strike.
Karcher on 3rd and 9 calls his own number, takes it ahead, and Karcher is close to the first down, but not quite there. That'll bring up 4th down and about a yard. James Harrell ran him down. Karcher with a gutsy call keeps the clock moving, which the Broncos want to do, leading 26-17. That's the game clock in the 4th quarter. 6:30 to play.
The league has also stated that they're going to have a taxi squad. I believe on Saturday you have to declare the 45 that will play, but I've heard through the grapevine that there might be a 55-man roster after this and 45 on the weekend play. Very similar to the way the taxi squad used to be in the early 70s in the NFL.
That would mean a lot of replacement players stay on. Karcher on 4th down. It's an incomplete throw. Rick Massey, the intended receiver, bumped hard against a defender. Randy Frazier put the slug on Karcher as released the ball. San Diego has now taken a 23-17 lead over the Raiders in the 4th quarter. Very little time remaining.
You can see Karcher really takes a shot. And luckily, Randy Frazier doesn't get right up in his face mask, or that's a penalty, and the drive would have continued for the Denver Broncos. Blitz. Whoa!
Into the end zone, Tim Joyner, big 6'4" linebacker who went high to get the ball.
That's a great defensive call by Joe Collier. Figuring that Kansas City's going to come out now and start to throw a little bit. He runs a double inside blitz with Ryan and the other linebacker. Joyner comes out in coverage and almost picks it off. Little background on Tim Joyner.
Stevens on 2nd and 10 gets a man underneath the zone. Not much there for Robert Parker. He gets out across the 36-yard line. It'll bring up about 4 yards to go now.
K.C. Clark and Martin Rudolph on the tackle.
3rd down and 4. Chargers have beaten the L.A. Raiders, and the Chargers go to 4-1. They'll lead the division after the day's play. Kansas City at San Diego next week. Then they have to go and play the Bears on the road, do the Kansas City Chiefs. Broncos go to Minnesota to play the Vikings next Sunday. Matt Stevens on the rollout, gets the ball away and stops the clock. 5 minutes and 15 seconds left to play.
Montagna, the intended receiver, and Jim Ryan kind of rolled Matt Stevens out of bounds gently.
So the lament of Frank Gans about not having big play people is illustrated here. They can't get the ball deep downfield when they have to.
Yep, Shane Swanson the back again now for punt return.
Kelly Goodburn, who booms it a long way, ready to unload again, and Swanson, who's been running him back with almost 200 yards on kick returns combined with his pass receiving yardage. A Darter and a Weaver, and he's out to the 31-yard line where the Chiefs go on defense. 48-yard punt, a 13-yard return. The Broncos send out their offense to run the ball. Football action continues next Sunday in Week 7 of the National Football League on NBC. It's a doubleheader Sunday, and in the first half, the Redskins host the New York Jets. Then the Seahawks take on the Raiders in the second half. It'll all start with NFL Live at 12:30 Eastern Time. Be sure to check your local listings for the games and times in your area. Your team plays here on NBC Sports. Ken Karcher with impressive quarterbacking numbers for the Broncos, now ready to run the ball with 5:03 left to play. First down and 10, and the Broncos lead by 12.
Impressive numbers today, Don, for the Denver Broncos. Michaud, 9 catches, 105 yards. Swanson 6 for 87 as we watch Nathan Poole on this sweep. Really protecting that football. Kevin Ross with the first hit, and then several. Swanson also has 7 returns for 113 yards to go with 6 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown. 2 very spectacular offensive performances today.
Chiefs problems mount. The scoreboard went out. (26-17). Denver with the lead, and to the run they go. Scott Caldwell, a running back from Texas Arlington, gets the call. As the game clock you see ticking down towards 4 minutes to play. So there's little that Coach Gans can do now, as the Denver Broncos seem to have this in hand. Talking about his motivational speeches and the 80 Olympic team. I was speaking at a dinner with Mike Ruzioni, the captain who Gans quoted this week. Ruzioni said he realized the greatness of what they did in 1980 when the first person to call him was the President of the United States, Jimmy Carter.
That would be a tip-off.
He said he never called me before.
Never called him since.
That's what he said. Never heard from him since. Said I got 24 proposals for marriage in the mail. No pictures.
No pictures. Shovel pass.
A ball, and the Chiefs have it at the 40-yard line.
That's an incomplete pass. They had to catch it in the air in order for that
forward.
ball.
That's right.
In order for that ball to be an interception. It was intended
forward.
for
Was
Michaud.
lateral.
Walker almost came up with it, but as long as that ball hits the ground, it's just an incomplete pass. So the Chiefs' best offensive threat takes the field. Jitter Fields. Well, they should have named that kid Strawberry, I'm telling you.
Field's back there and ready to do his number. As Giacomo is ready to hit the ball for the Broncos with 3:23 left. Giacomo hits a very high punt, and he forces Jitter Fields into a fair catch. 41-yard punt, but with no return. Net yardage 41. Big time number. And now the Kansas City Chiefs send their offense back out.
Kansas City's got somebody limping off the sideline here. Defensive back Ted Nelson. Being helped to the sideline. Hopefully he's all right.
After 5 games this season, a surprise leader after the 5th game in the AFC West. The San Diego Chargers off to a 4-1 start. Raiders are now 3-2. Broncos will be 3-1-1 unless Kansas City does something remarkable in the final 3:17. Broncos lead 26-17. David Montagna takes it over the middle, but not enough. They need big plays now, and the Broncos aren't going to give them up as they're back in a deep zone defense. Their established free safety, Tony Lilly, back roaming in center field, waiting for the deep ball.
Kansas City going with the hurry-up offense now with 2:54 left in the game.
They're throwing a catch, good for a first down out to the 35-yard line. So it's just dinking and dunking, and not a lot happening.
Well, you're hoping to just eat a little bit away and run the 2-minute offense here until the 2-minute break. He's calling the play right there at the line of scrimmage, Don.
They're running doubles on both wide receivers, double teams so they can't get the ball deep. Stevens takes a look, dumps it over the middle to Parker, and he rakes into open field and gets out to the midfield line. Gain of some 15 yards and a first down. As you see the game wind down to the 2-minute warning.
Well, they try to get another playoff here and let the clock stop this drive. And they got all their timeouts left on the other side of the 2-minute warning, and then they've done it. Oh.
Rod Jones had it and lost it at the Bronco 36-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 10 after the 2-minute break. The guy that was saying they're better than you think they are. And Gans has done a good job preparing him for this game. They've been in position and they've not been missing tackles. That has been really their big problem in the 2 replacement game losses. They just missed a ton of tackles against the Raiders and against Miami. Now on 2nd and 10, Stevens from the shotgun buys time against a 4-man rush, dumps it off, gets the ball out. Trahan takes the ball down, but he stays in bounds and the clock runs.
Jim Ryan and K.C. Clark on the tackle. Again, the prevent defense. You keep everything that's happening on the offense in front of you. You just hope that the clock expires before they can get it in the end zone.
Ball quacked on the way to Robert Parker, a lame duck pass, and he couldn't hold on. So the clock stops with 1:26 to play. Ball positioned at the 37-yard line of the Denver Broncos.
Let's look ahead up here. The eternal optimistic Kansas City Chief fan. And if they score an onside kick and a field goal, you got a chance. Stevens' numbers 17-25, 148 yards. I realize that's rather improbable, but coaches are always thinking that way. Now, if we can get this ball in the end zone with the onside kick, we got a chance to get it back. And I think Dan Reeves realizes that it's not over. The fat lady has not sung.
He's warming up, though. Micho threw that right into a roadblock.
Who did?
Ray Woodard, or not Micho.
Stevens.
Stevens. Matt Stevens, the quarterback. Micho, we're getting stats handed to us as the top receiver in the game from a number standpoint. He's caught 9 today and leads the American Conference in catch.
That's pretty remarkable
the whole season
for a guy who last season had no catches for Denver whatsoever. None.
On 3rd and 10. Intercepted by the Denver Broncos. K.C. Clark takes it back. He ran one back for 50 yards against the Raiders. He's going to do it again as Clark is back to the 45-yard line, and that'll do it. A 34-yard return.
Jerry Markbright fell down, but strangely, Matt Stevens threw it to the only guy in my estimation that was covered. There was triple coverage on that receiver. Watch when he throws this ball, how many guys are standing right there with the receiver. 1, 2, 3. He was intended the ball to go to Trahan, and the other guys had single coverage. Well, nevertheless, that's the third turnover of the day now for Kansas City. 4 by Denver. And that's it. Frank can start shaking hands goodbye.
So at day's end, the defending champions of the American Conference and of the AFC West, the Denver Broncos, will be a half game off the lead with 10 games to play with the regulars coming back. They'll be a half game behind San Diego. Nathan Poole working up the middle of the field, gets inside the 40 and down to the 38-yard line, and the Chiefs call a timeout.
I do believe they have all 3 left. Excuse me, they have 2 left. With that one, they now have 1. 25 of 39, 276, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Michaud, 9 catches, 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. Swanson, 6 catches, 87 yards, a touchdown, 6 punt returns, 118 yards.
He gets my MVP vote, and there's been a lot of guys deserving of credit. Certainly Karcher and Michaud. Shane Swanson probably had the best day of all for the Broncos as they up their record to 3-1-1. Guys taking their last licks, maybe forever in this league.
That's right.
That'll do it. The Broncos hold on to win it. Game effort. And our MVP is Michaud. Votes. I'm outvoted. I think Michaud was terrific. I thought Swanson deserved credit. But Bobby Michaud is the Budweiser most valuable player. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games. Van Reeves, a happy man to leave Kansas City with a victory. His team was blown out here last year. Final score 26-17. Well, we continue to review the action of today's game in a moment.